Hey everybody, welcome to my video on the supply curve. This is part of my series for introductory econ students. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to give you some basic ideas of what the supply curve is and where it comes from. In my next video, I'll talk about things that move it around. So a supply curve, you've seen the pictures before. It looks something like this. Here's the quantity and price, and there's this line that goes up like that, and you call it a supply curve. It is a graphical representation of a link between quantity and price. Those two variables are the only things it measures, the quantity and price. Now, whose quantity are we talking about? We're talking about supply, so we're talking about the sellers, the people who produce a good and sell it. Now, if you're in a class that draws supply curves, then I'm going to tell you your objective for your firm is pretty much always the same thing. What is their goal? Maximize profit. Now, profit, I'm not sure why economists do this. Someone picked a letter at some point and they chose the Greek letter pi to be profit. So you'll usually see something that looks like this, and that means profit. And profit is total revenue, it's the money coming in, minus total cost. Now, I'm going to be dancing around some spoilers for later in the semester about how we make choices, we make decisions at the margin. That a rational profit maximizing business will assess the net returns on every unit of their good. And so in order for me to do that, I need to first point out something about this supply curve. The supply curve represents the marginal costs of production in this industry. Now, what does marginal cost mean? That means it's the cost of the next unit of your good. So if I were to look at a few different quantities along this axis here, let's say 5 and 10 and 15, and if I had a price on this axis of $1 and a price here of $1.50 and a price here of $2, that would mean that my fifth unit of the good that I produced cost $1 to make. And then each unit costs a little bit more. My 10th unit of the good costs $1.50 to make. Each one a little bit more. My 15th unit costs $2 to make. So it's not a total cost thing. It's not an average cost thing. It is a marginal cost. What is the cost of the next quantity of the good? So 1 to 1. But that means it's actually really easy to see why this supply curve tells us what quantity our businesses are going to provide. Let's choose some price. Let's go back to this $2 notion. If the price is $2, well, let's look at the units of production along the way. For our first unit of production, our marginal cost is down here, 25 cents or whatever. If I can make something for 25 cents and sell it for $2, I should do it. I'm trying to maximize profit. And then the next unit of the good costs a little more, maybe 50 cents, but I can sell it for $2. I should do it. As long as the money coming in on each unit of the good that I sell is greater than or equal to the marginal cost, I want to sell it. It'll make me maximize profit. And so I'm going to sell all the way up until this sweet spot. And by I mean all the firms in this industry, because there's a lot of them. So forgive me for using personal pronouns. I should be using a collective we. We're going to sell all the way until this sweet spot. And so what does that mean? That means that the $2 price is linked to a single quantity. That means that the $1 price is linked to a single quantity. Each price is linked to a different quantity of the good, which is why every time you change price, you won't change the supply curve, you won't change their cost function, you won't change their profitability, but you will change the quantity that they supply. In my next video, I'll talk about the different things that actually do shift the curves, but for now, just know that as price moves, it doesn't change our firm's cost. It doesn't change our firm's behavior. It just changes how many sales are worth making. So I hope this was helpful to you guys. Now you know why a supply curve works and where it comes from. If it didn't help, too bad. Thanks for watching anyway. See you next time.